Hello, and welcome to my first Transformer review off. The way these work is I'm going to pick two figures and rate them each on Robot Mode, Transformation, and Alt Mode, assigning a point to each. Whoever gets the most points wins the review off. So let's get right into it. Today I'm going to start with Hunt for the Decepticons Firetrap versus Roll on the Floor Dirt Boss. I picked both of these guys up at the CVS behind my house. I had my eye on them for quite a while. Dirt Boss especially, he was there for quite a long time. So it's natural to start with them. Here we go. Robot Modes. Firetrap is a recolor of something that was called Scator Shot, not to be confused with Scatter Shot, and to be perfectly honest, I actually really like his color scheme a lot better. It's got the military olive drab with the orange highlights. Scatter Shot was some strange urban camo blue, and it really doesn't work for this kind of figure. Take a look at this guy. First of all, he comes with guns. These are attached, and that is a great thing, because it means you don't ever have to lose them. He has enormous stompity feet. He also has enormous shoulders. This guy's pretty much built like a football player. And the best thing about him, he looks like Barbecue from G.I. Joe. And Barbecue is one of my favorite Joes. Dirt Boss. He's boxy, he's gangly, he's bright green. Strangely, if you look at the packaging for him, these little blades here are supposed to be green while this part connected to his arm is supposed to be gray. I don't know how they messed that up, but it's kind of amusing. He's really not anything to look at until you look into his eyes. He hasn't had coffee in about 3 years. Now, unfortunately, Dirt Boss has some issues, mostly that his joints are really, really loose. And that's a big problem. It could have something to do with the fact that his package was covered in dust when I got him, but he does definitely leave something to be desired. He's a little goofy looking. He's not a very good color. So this one's going to Firetrap. Next is a Transformation. Transforming Firetrap, while not a breeze, it's pretty enjoyable. The big drawback is he's got these little pegs that you have to line up. One goes under the other to fit everything together. I sometimes have a little bit of trouble getting him together, but once he's there, he's solid. And one of the nice things about the transformation back to robot mode is the armature that holds his arms in place pegs into his shoulders, so you never have to worry about not having his arms in the right position. A friend of mine got, I can't remember if it's Generations Perceptor, the one where he turns into an SUV with tank treads, and he's got kind of the same thing going on, except that it doesn't peg into his shoulders, so his arms are always in the wrong position. Dirt Boss. Remember when I mentioned that he has very loose joints? That's a big, big problem. It makes this quite a pain in the ass. Furthermore, his transformation is all around just a nightmare. You actually have 3 parts to it. There's his backpack kibble, which goes over the top, and oh my god, his leg just fell off. His arm kibble folds up towards the front and encloses the backpack kibble, which is the seat. And getting the two in position is sometimes a nightmare. Not to mention, the seat doesn't peg into anything, so it just sits there. Furthermore, you have to take his legs and peg them into the bottoms of his wrists, and that is extremely difficult to do without breaking everything. Another point for Firetrap. Now that, of course, means that he wins the review off, but that doesn't mean that I should stop there. We'll go on to alt modes. Firetrap turns into this military pickup thing with guns on top and a cow catcher. That's pretty cool. He's got guns in his alt mode. Like I said, they're attached. That's just neat. Also, like I said, the color scheme really works for this thing. The blue that Scatter Shot has, it's goofy. It's very 90s almost. You know, it needs a little bit of neon green, and there you go, you're in G2 again. Dirt Boss, on the other hand, is a forklift. That's why I wanted this guy. He's kind of adorable. He looks like a forklift. The only problem, like I said, is this damn seat does not peg into anything, so it has a tendency to just lift up. The other problem, while his forklift does go back and forth, the tines fold downwards, so it's impossible to get him to hold anything, which is really sad. I would love to be able to say, put Firetrap on him and cart him around like that, but you can't do it. So as a forklift, he's a little bit disappointing, so I'm going to give Firetrap a clean sweep. So the first review off of Transformers goes to Hunt for the Decepticons Firetrap. Yay! I don't know if that's going to amount to anything, but there you go. That's my first review off. Next time, I'll be doing Movie Salvage and Generations Junk Heap.